sure is good. Hey, welcome to Geek Speak, a very special edition of Geek Speak. So we're going to talk about the movie Deadpool and Wolverine, and we're going to talk about spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie, you don't want to watch this video.
Oh, they've seen it. Anybody that's a geek has
Yeah,
seen
you
it.
should have seen it by now. You should have seen it by now. So I was going to go see it with him, but he went and saw it without me.
I couldn't help it.
Yeah, you went and saw it with your daughter, though, right?
Right.
Well, I went and saw it with Teresa and our grandson, Ronan.
Okay.
So what do you give it on a scale from 1 to 10?
Bro, I can't think of anything that I was disappointed with. I enjoyed it all, so I'd have to say it's the second movie in my whole life I've ever given a 10.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's impressive. I give it a 9.
Oh.
You know, I thought it was very, very good. I thought it started out kind of slow. You know, when we're talking about the whole TVA thing, you know, I know what they were doing. They're trying to set up, how can we get Deadpool with Wolverine and trying to set that up. But to me, it started out a little slow. Plus,
Didn't it start out with a fight scene?
It started out with fight scene, but then when it got to TVA stuff. But
Okay, so it didn't start out slow. It just, that one part slowed
part
down.
of it, yeah.
How dare they?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm just being honest. That's my opinion. And so plus the amount of cursing in it. You know, so cursing doesn't really bother me that much. I
Okay.
mean, I even did it on occasion myself. But the thing is that, I mean, there was 119 curse words in the MCU. The F word said 119 times. One time in Guardians of the Galaxy and 118 times in this movie. The movie's only 2 hours and 6 minutes.
I'm thinking the reason they done this is, first, it's Deadpool.
Yes.
And Deadpool did push the envelope in that other movie studio.
Yeah.
And because they were trying to show, hey, Disney can be bad too.
I mean, even when we talked about the movie in Geek Speak,
Right.
I brought up how many F-bombs was in the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
And, and like I said, I kind of brushed that off, but you get to the point where it gets ridiculous. You know, if I meet one of my friends or I meet somebody out and they're like, I was effing this effer, and this effer come up, and he was effing me, and I was like, F you, man. And he was like, oh, man, you got to be effing kidding me. I'm thinking, yeah, that's too many. That's like a 2-year-old that only knows like 24 words. And so
Right.
to me, the sexual innuendos and the F-bombs, you could have taken out half of them, and it would have still been too many.
Nah. So, in my opinion, Pepper has some bitch. Pepper's full.
Well, anyway, so what about what I did like is when it started out, you always wondered how they were going to bring Hugh Jackman's character back in,
Right.
Because he died in Logan, and that movie was a 10. That movie was fantastic.
Okay.
So I
disagree.
Yeah, okay. Well, I give that movie a 10. It was awesome. So him digging the bones up and sitting there talking to him, and credits are always boring, but
Right.
but he does credits good because while he was fighting with his adamantium skeleton of Logan, you're seeing the credits written on the adamantium bones and stuff.
Right.
So what was your thoughts
Well,
on that?
I thought it was cool. I did know they got a professional dancer to do the.
It was from NSYNC.
NSYNC, yeah.
Yeah.
And so they called up this dancer and said, hey, you've got this amount of time to learn this dance. Can you think you can do it? And he was like, yeah. But was never told why until he was brought there to do it. And they was like, okay, suit up.
I was wondering if somebody did that or
Oh, no,
or
Ryan's
Reynolds
good,
did
but
it.
no. So he got this professional dancer. He's a YouTuber. You all have to look him up because he's good.
Yeah.
He learned it in like no time flat. But anyway, dude, yeah, the way he used that skeleton to take out the TVA,
Yeah.
that was bad.
And then there was that one time where he actually strapped on Wolverine's claws
Right.
and went into it. So yeah, that was cool. And Teresa was a big fan of that dance. So it was
Yeah.
all over TikTok, that dance. So she, even though she's not a huge Marvel fan, not a huge Deadpool fan, she just kept watching those TikTok videos of him dancing on there. So the TVA, I was somewhat familiar with because the Marvel shows that I don't watch, I go to YouTube videos.
Okay.
a
So
lot
you'd
like
never watched Loki?
never watched Loki.
Okay.
So, but I was familiar with it because I watched kind of rundowns of the episodes and stuff like that. And Loki's not a character that I really cared about. And
Okay,
but you
so
did watch the
I
series and
did
you
watch
liked
the
it. You knew
series.
about the
And
TVA.
oh man, if they had have brought Morbius on there, which was like, what's the guy that always goes, wow, wow?
Are you talking about Jared Leto?
No, I can't think of his name. Guy with the crooked nose. But anyway, if they had brought him on there,
Yeah,
even because he's traveling through time,
yeah.
that would have been just like, that would have been perfect. But
Well, I
yeah,
mean, the amount of fan service that was in this movie
dude,
is unbelievable.
unbelievable.
So I mean, little things that 99% of the audience wouldn't pick up.
So let's go ahead and talk about him traveling through the TVA or
Okay.
traveling through
Yeah,
time.
go for it.
So I'm sitting there, and my daughter, God bless her, because I'm sitting where you are, and she's sitting here, and she's watching the screen and then watching me, and watching the screen, watching me. She says, "Daddy, you just kept going closer and closer," and in the bottom, she's going, "Oh, oh, oh, oh." She's like, "I was beginning to worry about you." She says, "I thought you was having a stroke because." They were showing all these different Wolverines from all these
I
different
know.
timelines. And the fact that
Yeah.
they were hitting like some of the major covers
Oh yeah,
and Patch, when they showed Patch,
Yeah,
I almost had a geekasm right then and
yeah.
there.
So Patch from
Because
Madripoor, whenever Wolverine did
up
that.
until 2000, I owned every freaking Wolverine
Yeah,
title
I
there
know.
was.
Yeah, I know.
And so to see all that,
Well, not only that, I'm a big fan of Age of Apocalypse.
right.
To see Hugh Jackman with that big, gigantic hair, I mean, that's something I never ever expected to see. I
Right.
didn't know I needed that in my life until I actually saw it. And but no, that was great. I
Now,
love
what do
that.
you think about them showing Cavill?
I liked it because, well, first of all, I liked there was a ton of cameos in there,
Right.
and some of them were in person, and some of them were just voices. But Henry Cavill really got done wrong by Warner Brothers, in my opinion. They decided, he dropped a bunch of projects so that he could come back and do Superman, and he filmed at the very end of Black Adam. Henry Cavill
Right.
reprised his role as Superman.
Right.
And so everybody was thinking there was going to be this Superman / Black Adam. But then they're like, nope, we don't need you. After he done canceled these projects to do that. And so he had this little snippet at the end of a movie, and then he decided they're going to go with another Superman. So see him back, and then to hear Ryan Reynolds say, we'll treat you better than those guys down the street.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of that.
You didn't like that?
No.
You didn't like Cavalry?
Cavalry?
Yeah.
No. I mean, I know the fans were excited, blah, 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 but I wasn't excited when they first announced Hugh Jackman as Wolverine because my Wolverine was, how they made fun of him, a little short guy?
Yeah. That
Yeah.
was one of the things they went back in time. So
I was a comic book geek. I mean, serious geek. And Wolverine's like 5'0" nothing.
yeah,
Just about.
and Hugh Jackman's like 6'2".
Yeah, well, how tall is freaking Cavill? Cavill's a giant.
Yeah.
So that just, my first instinct was like, nah.
Yeah, but you can't. I mean, you got to admit, Hugh Jackman is Wolverine.
He is now, yeah.
He is now, yeah. And then, I know he's not the size of the one in the comic. I think they made him small in the comic because they were trying to make him like the Wolverine,
Yeah,
which is
like
a real
a
small,
Wolverine, yeah.
compact animal, So, but some of the other timelines they did, they had Patch, they had him in his brown outfit,
Right.
and you saw a little bit of the Hulk,
Yeah.
because that's where Wolverine made his first
When
appearance.
his claws shot up and you seen the reflection, that is the comic book cover
Yeah.
dead on.
Now I would have loved to had his hood up in the brown outfit, but the thing is
I
that,
would have loved if they had the Wendigo there.
yeah, that would have been cool.
If the Hulk had hit him and Deadpool smashed up against the Wendigo,
Yeah.
that'd been funny as shit.
So, and they had an Old Man Logan one,
Right.
So one of my favorite comic books of all time is
Old Man
Wolverine's
Logan.
Old Man Logan.
Yep.
And so to see him with the hat and the beard and his gray, and if they don't make that movie, they're stupid, and I'm sad. So that was really neat. So he finally finds him a Wolverine.
Right.
It's a Wolverine that none of us are familiar with.
Right.
And so he's a Wolverine from a world where he turned against the X-Men and eventually turned against other superheroes, the way I understood it.
Right. Now, did he just turn his back on them, or did he take them out?
I think
The
he turned his back on them, and they got wiped out, and he got aggravated, and he got revenge on the supervillains in a way, in only a way Wolverine
Because you
would.
say we're not familiar with it, but there's a cover to a comic book, and there was a series where Wolverine shows Wolverine with Kitty Pryde behind him, and then all the X-Men on posters.
Yeah.
It says deceased, 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 and like him and Kitty was the last living.
Yeah. No, I think it was a totally different Wolverine.
I mean, I'm sure it was.
Yeah, one that had failed, and so, but it was really interesting. So they get cast down to the void,
Right.
and so it was cool the way they had the 20th Century Fox logo there,
Right.
and they poke fun of Disney the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they poke fun of Disney.
I think there was one actual joke that Disney refused them to do.
Oh, really?
And it was about Pinocchio and his nose going into orifices that.
Oh, that was in there.
Oh, well, maybe there was something else. There was
Must
there was
been.
some joke that Disney was like, or I think it was on Mickey,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
they were
they-
like, "No, you're not touching Mickey."
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised they let him get away with as much as they did. But Ryan Reynolds, you know, he's played Deadpool back in the first Wolverine movie, and so, you know, where he had his mouth zipped up,
Right.
and so most people would have. That movie wasn't popular. That character wasn't popular the way it was portrayed.
No.
But Ryan, he was smart enough. He liked the character, and so he had one of the greatest comedy writers of all write a script on his own,
Right.
then had it released on the internet, and then he actually had a mock-up made where they used CGI to make a Wolverine, and he voiced it, and had that released on the
Oh,
internet.
I don't know if I've seen
Yeah,
that one.
yeah, had that released on the internet, and that just got the fans churned up to the point where they really wanted him back as a true Deadpool, the way he was in the comic
Right.
books. And so he knows how to play it, and so he had a lot of control of this movie because he had a lot of control of the previous two movies.
I mean, Ryan Reynolds is a good hype man because anybody that can sell that crap gin he sells.
Oh, you've tried it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm not a fan of gin. So once they got down into the void, you see one of the cool things I thought was Tyler Mane coming back as Sabretooth.
Right.
That was in the first X-Men movie. And you get to see them go at each other, and that's just awesome. And even though it's a short fight, you know, Tyler gets beheaded, it was just awesome to see
Him
you
back.
know, Wolverine running along the ground like an animal, you know, just all feral, and then taking his head off and decapitating him. So that was cool. And man, I'll tell you what, Tyler Mane, I don't know if it was the makeup or de-aging, because there was a lot of de-aging going on in the movie.
Right.
John Favreau, who played, what was that character's name in there? He's Iron Man's buddy. I forget. Happy something.
Happy,
or other.
yeah.
So that was de-aged. You know,
Okay.
he's a lot older now, and they did a good job on de-aging, and so maybe they de-aged Tyler too. But that was awesome to see the whole Sabretooth versus Wolverine again.
Right.
And so then you see Chris Evans' character, and he's got this cloak on, and so you know it's Captain America.
Right.
And Deadpool's all geeking out about it, and so he's ready for him to say Avengers Assemble, and then he says Flame On, because Chris Evans played
The very first.
Human Torch,
Torch,
in the first Fantastic Four movie. And so that was just so great. He
Yeah.
whips it off, and he's got the outfit on, and he's got the four on there, and you know, and they're in the works of making.
They're always in the works
new
of doing it.
Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was cool. That was cool.
With freaking.
But what about when they brought in were they called the Outsiders or the Outcasts? You know what I'm talking
You were
about,
talking
right?
with Toad and.
No, since you mentioned Toad, you know, they brought Ray Park back
Right.
as the Toad, who was in
I
the
mean,
X-Men
we're talking about the villains and stuff.
They brought back.
Okay. So did you see the character in the background? He's a Russian character with the red striped shirt.
Yes,
Okay, now he was supposed to be the character that was in that
Punisher.
Punisher movie that you
Yeah.
liked, And I don't
What?
know why they didn't use that actor because
Yeah,
that actor's still in good
the
shape.
actor's in good shape, and Kevin Nash, the
Yeah.
wrestler, is the one who played him, and they recast him. They also recast the guy that played Juggernaut as well. And so this is going to run over 15 minutes.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
So they recast Juggernaut as well. But they bringing back the Toad. That was really cool. They brought back the guy that played Pyro. And
Right.
that was really cool. And some of the other little mutants that were in the background. But man, seeing Jennifer Garner come back as Elektra,
Dude.
that was awesome.
Okay, that was awesome. And they had
She's in shape.
yeah, they had talked about doing Daredevil as well,
Yeah.
but somehow it didn't work out.
Well, I don't imagine Jennifer and Ben Affleck. Jennifer and Ben
I'm sure
Affleck.
they could have worked together.
Well, maybe. I mean, it could happen. But I mean, Jennifer and Ben Affleck actually met on the Daredevil set.
Right.
And then she went on to have her own Elektra movie. And so to see her back as Elektra was cool. To see Wesley Snipes come in there.
If they could bring Wesley Snipes back with Ryan Reynolds after what them two went through.
Right, right. Because
I mean,
they were both in Blade 3 together.
Oh,
And they
Wesley
didn't get
Snipes
along.
would not have a damn thing to
Right,
do with.
and Ryan
Reynolds.
Reynolds played the character Hannibal King then, and that was his first little toe dip into the superhero movies.
Right.
And so Wesley was being difficult on that movie, which we go into in more detail in our Blade video.
Yep.
If you want to check that out. But the thing is, Wesley Snipe is Blade to me, just
Oh,
like
no.
Hugh Jackman is Wolverine. Wesley Snipe is
Now,
Blade.
what did you think about the gray stripe in Wesley's beard?
I wasn't fond of that.
Yeah, I wasn't either.
Yeah, because
I mean, it might be natural. I don't know.
No, I mean he's got naturally gray hair, but I mean the thing is to me to have it was done for style. To me
Right.
to have all dark facial
I
hair.
mean, he is maybe an alternate version of.
Yeah, but to have all dark facial hair and then that one little stripe that's gray.
Yeah.
I mean, you're either A, dyeing that stripe gray, or B, you're dyeing everything but that stripe dark. And so to me, I wasn't a fan of that.
Right.
I wasn't a fan. But he looked good.
Oh,
He looked good.
Looked real good.
And he was the Blade that I remember, and, he had that line in Blade that everybody makes fun of that Wesley Snipes actually come up with. Some MFers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
Right.
And he brought that back, And then
when he said it, I was like,
yeah, and then when he's in the Jeep and they're talking about Punisher, they was like Punisher was here, but he died, and so Deadpool's like, well, there's been like 5 Punishers. Which Punisher was it? And then Blade's like, well, there's only one Blade, and I think that's the sentiment that everybody feels. Marvel's working on a Blade movie right now,
oh,
so. They've gone through multiple screenwriters, kicked them off, gone through multiple directors. Some of them have just walked away. The main actor that's playing it, he's not been happy, and so I mean this thing's been delayed for like 3 years with reshoots and trying to get it straight. And I know it's probably too late for that because they've already put up too much money. But they should just scrap it. The way they did the Batgirl and bring back Wesley Snipes.
right?
Yeah, bring back Wesley Snipes. I know he was difficult to work with during Blade 3, but the thing is, how long has that been? And he's been in prison. That changes a man.
Well, I mean, they could bring him back and put him in almost like the Wrestler's part. Is that the guy's name?
Mhm.
And have him like the mentor to a younger, maybe pass on the torch.
What about
somehow.
Channing Tatum as the Gambit?
I'm.
Do you understand why they did that?
Apparently there was some kind of fan thing.
Well, no, I mean, there was a Gambit movie was in pre-production.
but there was a Gambit already in one of the old past X-Men
Right,
movies.
but there was a standalone Gambit movie in pre-production, and attached to it, but not official, was Channing Tatum, and so that's who they wanted to be Gambit, and so he actually made noises like. I mean, he made fun that movie never got made, and so where they were talking about being in the void, he's like, sometimes heroes just don't even get to do what they want to do, you know. And so, but yeah, it was funny, and his Cajun accent was atrocious.
Oh
It was
man,
horrible. It
yeah,
was horrible. I guarantee.
yeah, yeah.
But I mean, the thing is, I don't think that was done on accident. I think it was. I hope it was done on purpose, just as a joke. So, but who else was the X? You had Electra.
What about X-13?
Oh yeah, having her back. Yeah,
Having
yeah,
her back,
yeah. So
damn good actress.
So X-23.
X-23. What
X
did I
twenty
say?
three.
X-13.
But I
Yeah.
mean, she played that role in Logan, and having that girl back.
Right,
And Logan don't seem like it long
and not
ago.
all
She's a grown woman
yeah,
now.
and not all kid actors grow up to be good adult actors.
Yeah.
So she has
Yes.
gone.
No.
Yeah,
I mean, she was good. It was a good addition there, and that tied her into the Logan that she knew, or the Wolverine that she knew, was the best Wolverine you could be.
right.
And so he self-sacrificed for her and those other mutant kids in the movie Logan. So to have her there reminding this Logan,
Hmm.
what you could be and what Logan meant to her, kind of steered him
Right.
where he kind of steered him in the right direction. And so yeah, that was fantastic. And what'd you think about the main villain?
Uh, that now, I was somewhat familiar with the character. You know, a
Yeah,
lot of people were thrown off like, "What is this? An alternate
yeah,
universe
yeah.
of Xavier?" But in the comics, Xavier had a sister.
Yes, yeah,
So
yeah,
I think she did great.
yeah. I thought she did.
I
I
think she
mean,
did
she's a good
excellent.
actress. Yes, she did good, and she made. You want your villain to be intimidating,
Right.
and she certainly was.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, I'm not like the Marvel fan,
Yeah,
but I know that like the most powerful mutant there is Xavier,
yeah,
and to have those kinds of powers, like where where she just takes Chris Evans and just takes
yeah,
his skin off.
yeah. So,
That's
so I mean, when they
badass.
had and I'm typically not a fan of multiverses, but trying to take those characters, Blade, Elektra, uh, Wolverine, and even the Fantastic Four that were owned by other companies because
Hmm.
Marvel was in financial trouble and they leased those characters out, and now they're under the same umbrella underneath Disney, using a multiverse to bring them all in, saying, yeah, these movies really happened and these characters really existed in other universes. That was a real neat way to do it. And then they had multiple Deadpools from other
Right.
so you had Ryan Reynolds' wife, whose name is Blake,
Yeah.
and she was Lady Deadpool.
Right. His,
The cowboy Deadpool was played by
all
what's the
right.
guy?
All right. All right.
Yeah, what's that guy's
Uh,
name?
McConaughey.
Yeah,
Matthew
Michael
McConaughey.
McConaughey. Yeah. So he did the voice for him, and so
Uh, your lover boy Nick Cage voiced one of the
oh, did he
characters too. I
really?
think he did.
Why does everybody say that I'm a huge Nick
Oh,
Cage?
because it's every time we ever bring up anything.
There's a lot of Nick Cage movies I like, but if I was to list my favorite actors, he probably wouldn't make the first 10.
Anyway,
It's
but
funny
his
how
daughter,
people perceive you versus how you actually
his
are.
daughter was Kid Deadpool, and his baby was Baby Deadpool.
Yeah.
Like he had the whole damn
Yeah.
family.
What did you think about what was the Nice Deadpool? Was his name Nice Deadpool?
Oh, yeah. I think it was.
Nice Pool?
Yeah, I called him
Yeah.
the Van Wilder.
But he was
version.
de-aged. He was
Oh,
de-aged because
most certainly.
Ryan
Yeah,
Reynolds
yeah.
looks different than that, and so that was funny. That was
Yeah, when
funny.
he said the proposal.
But to see Wolverine go through there and him, and they wipe out all those Deadpools. I mean, it was just a really, really good movie.
Did
It
you
was
see
a
the
fun time.
Deadpool dressed as?
Samurai? Yeah.
No, the one dressed up as the ringleader from The Greatest Showman.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind
because
of
that's
a
was
nice
Hugh
little
Jackman.
nod.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's hard to believe Hugh Jackman does Wolverine, and he also does show tunes as well.
I
Yeah.
love him in Les Miserables.
Yeah, you did?
Yeah.
I'd never seen it. Yeah, our mom made us watch enough those musicals. I abandoned that once I become a man. But let's see other things that was in there though. Like, well, whenever they were walking in the street, in the background there was Layfield's orthopedic foot store.
Mm-hmm.
And see, Rob Liefeld is the guy that created Wolverine. And so he always would draw these crazy, unproportional bodies, and he was known for that. But he was also known for, like, when he got down to the feet, he'd just go zip, zip. I mean, put no detail into the feet whatsoever. And people used to make fun of him over that. So having Liefeld's orthopedic footwear was a way of kind of poking fun, doing an homage to the creator,
Right.
plus kind of poking fun of him at the same time, because
Yeah.
what else would you expect from Deadpool?
Right.
So, this Logan got to be the hero at the end of the movie.
Right.
He got to save everything, and so that was really neat. And I enjoyed it, and you enjoyed it, and Mary Tess enjoyed it, your daughter.
Yep.
Teresa enjoyed it. Ronan, our grandson, he really, really liked it as well.
Oh, I thought you were about to say he didn't like it.
No,
I
no,
don't.
no.
I've not met anybody who had said they didn't care for it.
Well, there's different layers to it. So in other words, like if you're uber geeky like us and you know the comics
Right.
and you know the movies, then you get a level of enjoyment other people don't. But if you're just familiar with the movies, you're still gonna love it. And or if you're just familiar with the Deadpool, or if you're just familiar with the X-Men, I've always said that if Marvel, if Disney tried to take those X-Men into this world, it would be better if they did it in an alternate universe. Kept the X-Men over here, and kept the Avengers and everybody else over here.
Well, I mean, they really cut a lot out of that movie. They packed that movie with so much nostalgia and stuff like that.
Right.
But there's a lot they had, because I had heard that they'd actually had Halle Berry and some of the other people that had been playing X-Men lined up to be parts.
Well, they had
like
put out
flashbacks.
They had put out a lot of fake rumors.
Right.
The actual producers did. Like they said, Patrick Stewart was going to be in it, and they said, and they did that to throw people off, and that way, whenever you got to the movie, you didn't know what to expect.
Did you hear that they were going to release it underneath a whole totally different name? Some stupid, like do a whole advertisement thing for a movie, and then when you go see it, like 12 minutes in, the movie just stops, and then all of a sudden it just starts playing the Deadpool movie.
Oh, yeah.
Like it was going to be like a total surprise. Nobody was going to know. That was their original ideal.
Oh, yeah. No, I hadn't heard
That would have been stupid.
So they asked Ryan Reynolds if he thought he would be back to do Deadpool again. And he said right now he was just enjoying the success of this movie, and he didn't have any plans. But without a doubt.
I mean,
first of all, Disney needed to win when it comes to their Marvel movies. And this made over $1 billion.
Right. In the first freaking weekend.
The only way you can make $1 billion is for people to go see it more than once. There's no way for you to make $1 billion on a movie with just people seeing a movie once. So when you reach that level, that means people have gone back and watched them a second time or maybe even a third time.
Right.
So that's, we give Disney a lot of crap. And we do that because they deserve it.
But Disney didn't. Disney kind of let the reins go on this, and they let Ryan, and the director,
but it's
what they want to do.
But it's a win. It's a win for them.
It's because Disney let go that it was a success.
And that could be true. That could be true. But you got to give credit where credit's due, and and everything they've put out isn't bad. Most of it.
Okay.
But the thing is that this was good. This was good. And when they see that money rolling in, this much investment and this much returns, somewhere inside their little heads, they got to be thinking. Oh, yeah.
Well,
so we'll see Ryan Reynolds again, and we'll see Hugh Jackman as
Ryan
Deadpool
as Wolverine again.
Yeah.
It's his career.
Oh,
it's his job.
Yeah.
What
a good job.
Yeah, and what a good job to have.
Yeah.
And so, he'll do it again. I'm sure he's going to take a long time off because he said his wife didn't care for him to being gone.
Yeah.
Because, he was like involved in this.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure he's going to take some time off. But, it's his job.
They brought the Russo brothers back that did the Endgame movies to do Secret Wars. Mm-hmm. So he'll be back by then. That's going to be probably another 3 years, 4 years tops. But anyway, we enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it.
It was good. Hope you enjoyed it. Tell us what you think about Deadpool down in the comments, Wolverine. And stay geeky, my friends. And if you like two old brothers talking, you enjoy our content, hit that little red button down in the corner and subscribe. And we appreciate it. All right? Stay geeky.
Later.